Hey guys, it's Kesara, and today I'm going to be doing my review for The Once and Future Witches by Alix Harrow. So I received a free e-arc of this book from Netgalley in exchange for an honest review. I was really excited going into this book because I had read earlier this year The 10,000 Doors of January, also by Alix Harrow, which was her debut novel, and I just really loved her writing, and I related to that book in ways that I did not expect to, and it had a lot of tropes that are just like some of my favorite tropes of all time. So it was by far like one of my favorite books that I read in the first half of the year. So I was really excited to pick up The Once and Future Witches. In some ways, I actually like this book more than The 10,000 Doors of January because you can definitely see how the author's writing has matured a lot since her debut novel. Like, the writing is a lot more beautiful than I expected it to be, even though like The 10,000 Doors of January was gorgeous as well. The writing in this is just absolutely top notch. I loved it so much, but there were definitely other aspects of this that I didn't love as much. This book is a historical fiction novel with fantastical elements to it, which is a type of genre that I actually am starting to really love when it's written as beautifully as this book was, and this book was just absolutely beautiful. It's following three sisters who kind of want to become witches, which is why it's called The Once and Future Witches. The structure and style of it actually reminds me a lot of The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. If you guys have read that, it has a very similar structure because there are kind of like stories or spells like before each chapter, then there's the actual chapter. I loved that structure of it, and overall I did really enjoy this book, and I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. As always with my reviews, I'm going to be talking about four things: character, plot, world building, and writing. So we're going to start with character. I think character is probably the weakest aspect of this book. I did really like the characters, and I really liked the sisters and their relationship. They had kind of a complex sister relationship that I really enjoyed, but overall, like, I didn't get as attached to the characters as I wanted to, which is probably why this book isn't a 5-star book for me, because all the other aspects of this book I actually really loved, but I didn't get to know the characters as much as I wanted to. They are great characters and they work really well within the confines of the story, but I couldn't relate to them as much as I wanted to. Next, we're going to talk about plot. The plot was really intriguing for me. It had kind of this mysterious nature to it that I really liked. It wasn't a particularly action-packed plot, but I did really like the way it ended. And for me, if you can land an ending really well and make it resonate with me, then I'll love the plot. And I do really love the plot because of the way it ended. I don't think there was a lot of like plot points necessarily, but like I said, it did have some really good mysteries. So next we're going to talk about world building. I think the world building was actually one of the strongest aspects of this novel. I like that it included a lot of issues for the social and political climate during this time period. While it wasn't like obvious, like in your face terrible things were happening, and it was still there, like you can still see like the injustices that were kind of happening without it being like too in your face, especially when I was talking about the place of women in society and also of women of color in society, which was really interesting. I think the main characters are all technically white women. There were some side characters that were included in a very interesting way that I really liked. All of those cultural things that were included worked really well for me, especially with the magic side of it, because the magic side of it is a little bit more nuanced than I'm used to. The magic is kind of on the softer side, and it just works really well in this novel. It almost works like magical realism instead of like an actual fantasy novel, but I feel like it just toes the line into fantasy a little bit more than just magical realism, and I liked that aspect of it. Like, it worked really well for me as a historical fantasy novel because of that, and I just really love the world building. And lastly, we gotta talk about writing style, and the writing style is really what made this book for me. There's just like a whole subset of books that I read because of just how beautiful the writing is. Actually, I did a video recently, Cozy Autumn Reads, where I basically talked about all of those books, and if I had read this book before that video, this would definitely be on it. I absolutely love this book because of just how beautiful the writing is. The imagery in this book is so well done. It's just the nuances and the details that are included just made the most beautiful atmosphere that really worked for me and made me really love this book. And because of that, I of course ended up giving this book 4.5 stars. So that's all I have for you guys. If you've read this book, let me know down in the comments because I would love to discuss with you guys. I post videos on Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so consider subscribing. And if you'd like to be notified as soon as I upload, you can click that little bell icon. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. Also, social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.